What's up, guys? Jacob Roach here from Enthusiast Gaming. That's gamingenthusiast.net and enthusiast.gg. I'm here with LawBreakers today, the alpha version of LawBreakers, just demoing it over the weekend to kind of give some initial impressions of the game. Now, I did get to demo the game at E3 and try out a new game mode there, and I had a lot of fun with it with the short time I was able to spend with it, but this weekend I really got to sit down and kind of delve into the game and see what it's all about. So in this alpha, we have the four main characters. That's Vanguard, Assassin, Enforcer, and Titan on the Law or the Breakers side. And we also have a game mode that wasn't at E3. This is a separate game mode called Overcharge. The game mode at E3 was a little bit different. It was kind of a deathmatch mixed with domination style game, where Overcharge here is more of a capture the flag type game mode. So got to try out this game mode. It was a lot of fun, but with the game modes kind of being unique, that LawBreakers is kind of known for and what they've been very adamant about, there's a big learning curve with them. For instance, you're going to see me, maybe I just suck at the game, but you're going to see me die a whole lot in this game because it doesn't play like other shooters. You kind of have to play around a game mode. You don't just go in, kill as many people as you can, and that's it. You have to play around the game mode. And for instance here, at the end of the game, you'll see that I was ranked second on my team, but I died a whole lot more than I killed anyone. Because the game mode is more focused on the objective and less focused on, killing as many enemies as you can. So because of that, there is a big learning curve to it, and I think that initially it's going to be hard to kind of adopt that learning curve, but after a while I could see where you're going to have a lot of fun with the game after you kind of get past that initial curve. The biggest part about it that's really becomes difficult is the team play. In an article I wrote about my initial impressions of the game, I talked about how each of the four characters all really play with each other in kind of a really beautiful way, and it makes team play kind of essential to the core experience. Now, that's really great, but if you get in a match, which I did in the alpha several times, where people aren't playing as a team, it's not going to be very fun. LawBreakers is a team-based game, and really the fun you're going to have with it is really based on that. Kind of like, this may be a bad comparison, but kind of like Left 4 Dead, where, yeah, you can play it on your own, but really the core experience is when you're playing cooperatively with friends. So if you're planning on picking up LawBreakers, I would definitely recommend that you get a few friends to play with you, because you're definitely going to have a much better experience that way and be able to communicate with them as well. As far as the team kind of based matches go, the way that it's implemented into these different game modes is really kind of unique. For instance, in Overcharge here, whenever your goal is to go and capture this battery and then charge it back at your base, and you'll see here that I'm the Titan because we're charging the battery. So I switched up my character in order to accommodate the fact that we're charging the battery. Whereas maybe earlier in the match where I'm trying to get the battery, I might switch to the Assassin or something so I can get around the map very quickly and be able to grab that battery really fast. So because of that, the game's really kind of dynamic in that way, and you really have to learn each of your character's unique abilities. For instance, you'll see here the, what is this? The Vanguard? Yeah, I think it's the Vanguard. Or maybe it's the Enforcer. I'm not sure. I'm getting them confused. Yeah, Vanguard's it. You'll see that there's this kind of flying ability, whereas the Titan, for instance, can't even run. It's kind of this run and smash ability. So each of the characters alone have their own unique kind of thing going on, and it's going to vary how you play the game. It's not the normal, reskinned character. You can't just run with them and be able to, do certain things with them. You can't run and slide and all that stuff with each of the characters. Only some characters can do that. Like the grappling hook, for instance, is exclusive to the Assassin. The jetpack is exclusive to the Vanguard. The Titan can't even sprint. The Titan just has this smash ability, so on and so forth. And, I'm not exactly sure how I feel about that. I think I enjoy the fact that LawBreakers is, and Boss Key is willing to do something different like that and really kind of change it up. But I think it's going to be kind of again, with that learning curve, it's going to be a little bit difficult to adopt initially for people who are used to playing normal first-person shooters. So, yeah, one thing that did annoy me with this particular game mode, and you're going to see it here coming up in a minute, is you can see we've been fighting and defending the battery for quite some time, and we've kept it right there. And we're at 84% right now. In a minute here, we're going to get up to 100%, and the enemy is going to come over and steal our battery and score a point. And that's kind of frustrating. I'm not sure if that was an intentional thing by Boss Key to put in there. Personally, I think that's a little cheap, and I think if you have to steal the battery, they should have to recharge it. But that's just with this particular game mode, just a little gripe with it. So we've all been kind of focused on this one area, but it's going to open up a little bit more after they come and steal the battery, which should be here in just a second. Let's see, it's counting down. Yeah. Oh God, it's getting whenever combat is focused on a particular area, it's kind of insane. You know, it spreads out more, but whenever you really get everyone together, combat definitely gets kind of nuts. I don't know how I just died there, but apparently I did. Okay, so yeah, they just stole the battery from us. So you're gonna see here the map open up a little bit more, and you know, I'm not too opposed to big maps, but I feel like here the maps are a little useless. There feels like there's some dead space right now in this particular map, and this is really, you know, really the only one that, you know, in the alpha that I've been playing on. And it feels like there's some dead space kind of in the map that's not really utilized. When I pull up the assassin class, I'm kind of trying to zip around the map here. I'm pulling up the assassin right now. I'm kind of trying to zip around the map, and you know, you can get around fairly quickly, but you'll see the route I take. There's nothing happening like in this area. There's nothing really happening in some other areas, and it's just kind of difficult because really most of the stuff is focused on the center of the map and the two bases, and kind of the stuff on the sides. While, you know, you do need to have stuff there, it seems like it might be a little too drawn out and a little bit unnecessary. So that brings me to the center of the map, which is this 0G space. And generally, in most of the game modes, that's where a lot of the combat's going to take place. That's where it gets really nuts, is that 0G float around kind of crazy combat. And I really like that combat. It's really dynamic there. You know, it's not the standard, you know, it's not just standard combat. You have to utilize this kind of vertical space to take down your enemies. And, you know, at first when I heard the developers at Boss Key talking about that vertical space, I kind of thought, okay, whatever, you know, hyping up your game. But it's really true. Once you get into that realm, people will take advantage of being able to shoot under you or being able to shoot on top of you, and you have to be able to kind of attack from that angle. And because of that, I think that the combat, especially in the center of the map, is very, very interesting. Other than that, the combat's good. It's really good, but it's just something that's going to take a while to adopt. So I hope that, you know, people understand that going into the game. Because Boss Key is hyping it up, and sometimes it almost sounds like, you know, like every other shooter, but it's really not. What they're saying is very true, and the game does have a significant learning curve to it. So I think going in with that mentality and going in with the idea that it's not going to be a game that you just pick up, start leveling real quickly, and there you go. It's going to be a game that takes some time. It's going to be a game based around skill. And because of that, it's a great shooter. But also one that takes some time to learn. So I definitely had different thoughts about it going in. I thought it was going to be more arena, go and kill everything. You can see I tried to teleport there because I thought, you know, arena games, there has to be some sort of teleportation thing. I thought it was going to be more arena-based, go and kill everything, straight deathmatch. It's definitely not that game. This is a team-based, squad-based game. You can call it a shooter, but really it's a ton of abilities. Shooting, as you can see with me utilizing the assassin class, shooting is a very small part of it. It's a team, squad-based, objective multiplayer game. And I think that's a really interesting spot, and I think that it's a great game, but it's not just a run-and-gun first-person shooter. And as long as you go in with that mentality, I feel like you know, you're gonna have lots of fun with Lawbreakers, because at first I wasn't enjoying myself, but after a while I kind of realized what the game was and what it was going for. I enjoyed myself a lot more. So this is Lawbreakers. This is alpha gameplay, so definitely not final. Might be a little bit choppy, but it's, you know, again, working out kinks, just alpha gameplay. And yeah, I'm excited to see more from Lawbreakers. I'm excited to see the game modes, especially what else Boss Key's going to come up with, because the two that I've demoed were really special, and they were very unique. And I really enjoyed that in a crowd of very, you know, a very crowded space of shooters, that Boss Key's willing to do something so unique with their game. So I can't wait to find new game modes. On the character selection screen, there looked like there was a spot for a 5th character. Boss Key said that they're going to be releasing more in the future, and I can't wait to see what they come up with. So I'm Jacob Roach for Enthusiast Gaming. Once again, that is gamingenthusiast.net and enthusiast.gg. This is LawBreakers Alpha. Make sure you check out the game at lawbreakers.com or Google Boss Key. That is the development studio for the game. Thanks so much, guys.